President Biden is speaking with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today.
And it is significant because this is the first time the two will speak with each other since a deadly strike killed 7 World Kitchen aid workers in Gaza. These are the 7 victims you're seeing on your screen from that attack. The parents of Jacob Flickinger, a 33-year-old dual U.S.-Canadian citizen, appeared on CBS Mornings earlier. When asked about the Israeli government saying the strike was unintentional, they didn't hold back.
Then the Israeli military is extremely incompetent. And the leaders that are running this campaign are incompetent because this is not the first aid convoy or group that has been accidentally killed. There have been over 200 aid workers killed delivering food to a starving population.
And we have team coverage for you. Weijia Jiang is standing by at the White House. We're going to start, though, first with CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams. She's in Tel Aviv. So, Holly, Israel says that this was a case of misidentification. But World Central Kitchen boss Jose Andres is accusing Israel of actually targeting the convoy in this week's attack. What more can you tell us?
Hey there, Lana. Hey, Errol. You're right. Israel says this was a mistake, and it says it was a case of misidentification, presumably meaning that the Israeli military mistook a convoy of aid workers for a convoy of militants. Now, that's not necessarily in contradiction with a lot of what Jose Andres said in his interview. He claimed that the 3-car convoy was targeted systematically, car by car, and certainly when we look at the aftermath, the cars look as if they were hit with precision strikes. So the question then becomes, why were they misidentified and then systematically targeted, especially when World Central Kitchen says that they were coordinating their movements with Israel's military? Now, we don't know the answer to that at this point. What I can tell you is what President Biden has said, which is that this was not a standalone incident and that, quote, Israel has not done enough to protect civilians.
And it's striking, Holly, because we see the footage of the vehicle. It clearly on the ceiling of that car says World Central Kitchen. I'm wondering what kind of a chilling impact this has on aid delivery in what's already a humanitarian crisis where famine is taking hold in Gaza.
You know, Errol, people are understandably upset about this incident. 7 aid workers killed working for World Central Kitchen, which is a well-known non-profit, 6 of them foreign, one of them a US citizen. But it's a bigger problem than that. Around 200 aid workers have been killed in Gaza and the West Bank during this conflict. Also, this incident is already having an impact on Palestinians who are enduring not only war, but also hunger, because it's not just World Central Kitchen that has suspended its operations in Gaza. Also, another American nonprofit, ANERA, says that it's pausing its work there. And the United Nations says that it's temporarily suspending its movement at night. So we see this already impacting aid operations, trying to feed people in Gaza.
Yeah. Holly, I want to go back to this question of misidentification versus targeting, because you spoke with a retired U.S. Air Force veteran who said that the strike is likely the result of, quote, negligent callousness. Explain what he had to tell you.
Right, so Israel says that it does its utmost to protect civilians, but it acknowledges that a mistake happened in this case. That's why we heard from Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier this week saying this is tragic, but also, quote, this happens in war. However, CBS News has been speaking to a retired Master Sergeant from the U.S. Air Force, Wes Bryant. He believes that it was a case of misidentification, but he blames that on, quote, negligent callousness on the part of Israel's military, and he says that it's indicative of a pattern. And he said that he believes what happened here is a failure of intelligence gathering.
All right, Holly Williams, thank you.
All right, let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang for more on the Biden administration's response to this. Weijia, there's this important, crucial conversation now between Biden and Netanyahu. What are the U.S. objectives from this call?
President Biden wants to make very clear everything that he has been saying in public and then some. And of course, we have heard the president talking about how outraged he is, how heartbroken he is over the lack of coordination that was involved for this airstrike. And we also know that he has been calling for a swift investigation. He says it should be relayed to the public exactly what happened, and there needs to be accountability. But that said, Errol, we should also know that the administration has not called for an independent investigation and has very clearly said the U.S. is not going to launch its own review of what happened. So as of now, it will be relying on Israel investigating itself. And of course, one important question that I asked the White House yesterday was whether any U.S. supplied weapons or resources were used to carry out this strike, and they were unable to answer. They said they didn't have the answer to that question. I also asked President Biden how he was going to hold Israel accountable. It was one of those situations where, you know, we had to shout a question because an event was wrapping up, but I can tell you it was quiet in the room. He did hear the question. He turned and then turned around and walked away without answering it.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday, Weijia. So that said, President Biden has, though, used some of his harshest language following this airstrike. Do we know anything more about how he's planning to apply pressure on Netanyahu, particularly on this question of protecting civilians?
Well, so far, since the very beginning, we have only seen that pressure campaign with regard to words and talking. And that is the source of frustration for many, not only of his critics, but members of his own party who are saying, you know, it might be time to reevaluate whether the U.S. should continue providing aid to Israel with no strings attached, with no conditions, with no checks. And so that is a question that the president will continue to grapple with because, of course, this isn't just an official matter of U.S. policy. It is a political matter for candidate Joe Biden as he tries to win the White House back because he is losing support among his base when it comes to his handling of this conflict.
All right, Weijia, thank you.
Sure.